the Turners.
Side of Burley moves through the lead.
The Ryanair goes to Hunvarlane.
And it's Galopin de Champs who's galloping his way to Gold Cup glory.
Well, here we are, folks. Second part, day 3 and 4, this time covered. So who we got on the first one here then, lads? So we've got the Turners, the Ryanair, the Stayers, and then the Ryanair Mares. I've got to be honest, with the Turners myself, there was quite a few entries, and when I first looked at it a few weeks ago, and it was like, who's going to go where? So I was sort of struggling a bit to find one, so I'll let someone else kick us off. Come on, Mark, I'll let you start us off for the Turners then.
Yeah, we mentioned this horse in first preview, but I think it's going to be one on the board for the English. I think it's going to be Ginny's Destiny for Paul Nicholls. Currently tops the market at around 3-1, 5-2. And listen, again, it's another lightly raced 8-year-old. It had 6 runs before changing trainers from Tom Lacey. You know, at second at Exeter, one at Chepstow, 4th at Aintree, 1 at Warwick, 2nd again, and 3rd at Huntington. But since it switched to Paul Nicholls and that Harry Cobden partnership, so that hat-trick of victories at Cheltenham, and we all know how important that is to get the victories. In the Cheltenham trials at the time for Novices Handicap Chase, I think this is a fine prospect for Team Nicholls. And it's trying to find a needle in a haystack, trying to pick out as many English winners, British winners as we can to take on the Irish. I think this is going to be the right move for Paul Nicholls. I know, what race you mentioned that it was around 25-1, Ginny's Destiny. We mentioned it.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But I think that going away, when you look at the other runners that are in this race, Grey Dawning, 7-2, Facile Vega, 11-2, Gaelic Warriors, 11-2, but I think it's safe to say we're not going to see them this year. Factor File, 6, American Mike, 20, Fountain 5. So I don't think it's going to be quite a smallish field in this one as well. But I think Ginny's Destiny, I think as an 8-year-old, great form, hat-trick of victories, very impressive for me in the Cheltenham trials. So Ginny's Destiny for me to kick off on the Turners.
Okay, mate. Go on, Sean. Agreeing here, or?
I agree that the horse will run a very good race and will go close again. Of course, form, you can't argue what Ginny's Destiny's done, especially this year, has just impressed everybody. I've gone one that me and you spoke about purely because of work references, Iroko. Again, we're talking about a horse that knows this place very well, won the Martin Pipe last year, went to Aintree, finished 3rd, but you know, there's always that, what runs at Cheltenham will always struggle or flatter to deceive at Aintree, you know, sometimes. The ones that skip it, that are aimed for Aintree, what you opens your eyes and you go, right, I'll get in there earlier. I mean, still ahead of Stay Away Faye in that, who is highly touted, has had a great season, so you're talking the form has been justified. A good jumper, especially around Cheltenham, and I just think at 6-7-1 can be a very good shout, to be honest with you. I think, again, you have got, like you say, at the top of that, Ginny's Destiny and Grey Dawning, who we've both mentioned that were fluttering between that and the Browns, but if you look at the pricing, it's more than likely here, so it should go the way of the British. Gaelic Warrior more than likely will run. So Iroko will probably go off a bit shorter than 6-1, but I still think close to the head of the market is very good value for a horse that is capable of winning this race.
No, I agree. I agree. You know, I mean, as I say, when I looked up, well, it would have been a week or so ago now. You know, there's still a lot of if, buts, and maybes,
which there will be now. You know,
and there still is to a degree, as you say.
They can slip on the stone and all that, and bruise their foot and things like that, infections and everything.
Iroko did again, as you say, Sean, stuck out to me a bit as well. It could be where we do get one on the board
in a good race as well. But don't get it twisted. It's a very good race still. I just think there's, for a 6-year-old, 6 or 7, I can't remember how. That's still a progressing horse, and there's still a lot to like about it.
So you've got that Ete de Temps or whatever, right? As well. Ete de Temps.
Yeah, but it should be going to the yard.
You imagine so, but they say, then as you say, Mark, when you get down to American Mike at 20s, you imagine there's obviously something else planned. Yes, as you say, it looks like it's one where we will get one on the board, Sean. exactly who that's going to be. I think it's quite difficult to say.
Yeah.
What about you, Jane?
I've gone for another British contingent, and that's Grey Dawning, trained by Dan Skelton. Very likeable grey, in which has won at Cheltenham before on the 15th of December, finishing second place with Janice Destiny. Won that Southwest Racing Novice Chase, and then was very impressive at Warwick, beating Apple away by 14 lengths in the Hampton Novice Chase. But in a Grade 2, also beating a very promising horse of Broadway Boy. So the forms might come intertwine with that particular race. And I think Elko, that's another British contingent. But we haven't really mentioned a lot of like Gordon Elliott's horses and that, because they've still got chances and things like that. But I think with the Turners Novice, I've gone for an each race selection. That's I'm not always with going with the favourites and things. Grey Dawning, so hopefully first place.
Yeah, fair enough. Mark?
I'll just give you mine.
Sorry,
Ginny's Destiny.
I like Ginny's Destiny.
Sorry, of course you did, yeah.
3-1.
Put us down a bit. There we go.
Apologies. Right, okay, so that means we're moving
That's
on
it.
then.
Moving
We
on.
are indeed.
Okay,
Ryanair.
Ryanair then.
The Ryanair.
Go on in. You want to start us off then?
I'm looking.
No.
No, I'm looking forward to this one. I think this is going to be a real
show up.
humdinger. There's a big word for me. Look, with Allaho being ruled out, I think. Well, sorry, let's start again. Before Allaho was ruled out, couldn't see him being beaten. It's just the master winning this race. Yeah. But now it's made it quite interesting. So I've you got Banbridge, who tops the market 3-1. You got Stage Star for the owners group at 9-2, and you got Envoy Allen, who's also there at 9-2. I think what sort of three top horses we've got. Actually, you've got Stage Star, who disappointing last time out, but it was upped in the weights and just didn't like the weight. But going from his performances before that, super impressive from Abby Cobham. Envoy Allen, until he fell at Cheltenham, it was 12 on the spin. Since then, it's only won 4 of his last 12, but won this race last year, beating Shishkin, and travelled really strongly. But I really like Banbridge. I think this is an 8-year-old that's got a 50% strike rate in its 18 races. Has won twice at Cheltenham in a Martin Pipe, conditional jockey's handicap hurdle, and from the Horse's Mouth podcast, Arkle Challenge Trophy Trial Novices Chase. Bit of a long one to get out, but oozed confidence and was really good in that race for me. It has won at Aintree. Stage Star was also in that, finishing a disappointing 5th, and has also won the Coral Sylvan Echo Conti Chase, beating the likes of Picdory, Janadil, and champion chase contender Edwardstone. So I think it's got a good CV there of horses that it has beaten. Jamie's giving me a real funny look over there with his office man glasses on, so I'm sure he's going to slate me. But I like Banbridge.
Is he even copying your nose?
Yeah.
Chinese not going to have a lot to say now.
I like Banbridge. Oozes class, but I think Envoy Allen and Stage Star will make it quite open Ryanair this year. But Banbridge for me.
He's like
Exactly what he said. Banbridge.
Yeah, fair play. He's literally the exact same nose.
It's exactly so.
I'll just save you listening to Jamie's notes.
It's been because he's beaten Picdory by 1 3/4 lengths, so the form is that, and he won at Picdory beat Lem Prosse in the Ascot Chase. Won that well. I think Lem Prosse. Home Prosse was running on very well, even though that was a shorter distance for him, and then the form is just intertwined really. Banbridge won exactly what he said.
Look, I want Stage Star, not just because obviously we have connections in that sort of. So I think the horse is capable of coming back. I'm ignoring being pulled up a couple of weeks back, way too heavy in the weights for heavy ground, was never going to get round. Ran a good race, just that factor showed at the end.
Yeah.
But I think the class of Envoy Allen as a 10-year-old is going to show. Nothing against Stage Start, nothing against Banbridge. Just sometimes now and then, class prevails over what is ability. And they have both got the ability as 8-year-olds, and they will be fantastic, or they are fantastic horses, but will get better as well.
Yeah.
Envoy Allen has come back and shown that there is still that hint of want from the horse to be able to do it. Jumps, as long as it jumps soundly, I think Envoy Allen will win quite well. Actually.
Was it Darren Royale that he won it? Which he looks
a while back though.
I think it was the one where I think Frodon won.
Yeah, but again, if you go back, only second to Jerry Colon, fast and slow, but beat Shishkin last year. So it's still mixing with very talented horses and still proving the horse's worth. So do I think the other two could be better? Yes, I just think class might show in this one. So I'm going to go Envoy Allen.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I pretty much just have gone through the loyalty line really, and I've gone with Stage Star. Stage Star's got good form on the course as well. Yeah. So you come back to that, factor. Knows how to win now, as you say. So I think you've got to forgive that last race really, but still run a valiant race. So
led the whole way round. Didn't jump. There was no issues with the horses jumping. It's just unfortunately boggy ground, and the weights showed.
And of course, as you say, Banbridge the favourite, and a lot of people are talking about Banbridge, and I can understand why people will back Banbridge. And then of course, you then look at next down at Envoy Allen. At the end of the day, all right, maybe it hasn't won some of the races we hoped or expected, but certainly in the last few efforts has shown that, as you say, Sean, that there's still a modicum of ability, and that's still there. And there's nothing to say that that in a race like this, that will be enough.
No.
So I can't really say a great more than that. Stage Star for me, really.
No, definitely.
So we move on then, lads, to the Stayers, which I know is a favourite of yours, Mark. So we'll let you kick us off then.
When you start with this one, this is
an interesting one.
This is just a quick one. I'm going to be very brief with this. You got top of the market. Tierpoo, Irish Point, Crambo, Sir Gerhard, Noble Yates, Monkfish, Paisley Park, Flooring Porter, Home by the Lee, Botox Huz, Dashel Drasher, Sire de Burley, Ballyadam, Astorian Forlonge. That's going from Tierpoo, which is 3-1 favourite, down to Astorian Forlonge at 50-1. That's just the number of horses that's been entered in this.
That's some good horses.
I mean, where do you start?
Even when it's cut down, that's
you haven't even mentioned Paisley Park, did you?
Yeah, Paisley Park, which is you got.
You haven't even mentioned the winner either.
I know.
Where do you start with this? Like Paisley Park, golden favourite, has really. Again, it's another horse which has proven that age is only a number.
Definitely showing love for the races.
Cracking performances. Crambo, another one, it's around 13-2. Which I think was Ascot. I think it was a very good performance. Noble Yates, Grand National winner. Flooring Porter, we know, has won before. Home by the Lead. Dashel Drasher's done well. I like Irish Point for Gordon Elliott. This is the one I'm just trying to get one picked out in this because this is where I go back to Marie's Rock. This is where I can understand why they decided to put her and Chancer in the mares because she wouldn't stand a chance in this. I mean, the Stayers Hurdle has become so. How many of these actually go in the Stayers? Look, Monkfish. Where did that come from? Monkfish. We all knew the Monkfish before, and then the performances that he's now sprung. He's a 16-1 shot, and but I think Irish Point, Leopardstown for me, stunning performance for me, and I think Gordon Elliott has got a slight slender chance in this one for me. But like I said, I can't go too much about it because it's so hard to pick. It's literally like a Grand National race. You start to pick one out and hope for the best. But going by what I've seen, just on certain edges of ability, it'll be Irish Point and around 5-1 in the Stayers. Anybody else?
Go on, Sean.
Yeah, I'll go. I think Noble Yates might use this as a leg stretch for leg stretch. He's had a couple of races beforehand, but proved. Look, we know this horse has got staying ability. I do think we watched, wasn't we, when we went to Cheltenham first day of the jumps, and we were looking at Naval Yeats running at wherever he was that day.
Yeah.
We went, oh look, he's back. Let's see what. Nothing. Was there really in that respect? Might have been a Warwick or something. I can't remember now. But yeah, I do think. Look, we know that it's always a case. It's a stayers for a reason. It's who can grind it out, who's got that ability to get up the hill with a turn of foot as well. You know, you can't just slog it up there because Paisley Park, if he gets the rail, I mean, like lightning still. After 3 miles, he can still find the place. I mean, ridiculous watching him. Well, that horse will be there knocking on the door. But I think personally, Noble Yates, I think will take a lot of beating this year as well. And 10 to 1, I think is worth a real good go at. Again, Gordon Elliott's clearly favouring the longer distance and races. He's clearly got a bit. He's clearly got a lot of pride in his stayers, and I think both 2 are at the top of the rating, like you say, are worthy. But I think Noble Yates will really give him a go.
All right, well, I'll give you my selection. My selection is Irish Point. It was one I picked out in my ones to watch. I know a lot of people quite sweet on Crambo in this. For Fergal, so that could be another one on the board for us, maybe. But with Irish Point, the penny really dropped sort of after the last festival in March, and has gone on one ever since. So I think there's a lot to like about that horse. Winds have come on good, soft, soft and heavy. So you certainly know if there's a cut in the ground, it's going to play into the hands. So for me, I was going to say, like as you say, Sean, that Gordon does seem to be targeting these longer distance races these days. So for me, Irish Point. Joe, what about you, mate?
Exactly what you're saying. Irish Point. That's it. Carry on.
You look confident. I feel like I've made a mistake.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. A lot of Irish Point fans there.
All right, well, let's move on to the Ryanair Mares.
Go on,
Jamie. You can fire away with this one.
I would like to see Fergal O'Brien get a festival winner. He's always hitting the crossbar. In my reckon, he's a very good trainer. And I think Dyson Enos has been very impressive since watching her in a few races. And she won very well at Cheltenham. So she can handle that course. I think is it the new course or the old course?
The new course.
It's been the new course, yeah. And I think she's beaten a really few horses behind her. Most impressive, she was at Doncaster when she just coasted home, winning by 7 lengths to Justus, and she won on good ground. Good ground to good to soft. So she'll do all right. She'll do well. She was very impressive, and I think she'll do well in that particular race. I know there's other horses that are in there are very impressive as well. But I think with an each way selection, I know most probably she might be right at the top end of the market, but I always go for each way. I don't normally do wins. It might be you need golden balls to do that if you've got plenty of bit of money. But I think Dyson Enos for Fergal O'Brien, and I think Fergal would be quite happy on his social media of having a horse mentioned for the Ryanair Mares Novice Hurdle.
Okay, fair enough. Well, mine's quite straightforward and simple. I'm going for Bright Days Ahead, the favourite. I think that's a really good horse, a really good horse. I've got a little note here about what Gordon said about after winning the Apples Jade Mares Novices Hurdle. She's a mare that we've liked from day one, and she hasn't put a foot wrong. Jack Kennedy loved the way she won at Damrell, and it was always the plan to come here afterwards. So he put his cards on the table. He's no bones about it. The form's in the book. She's not lost. So what can you say? And of course you can. You say, Jay, there are other very good horses in it, and some of them all got ones against their name. It's just about have they met each other as horses as good as the ones they're going to face on the day. And we'll see. We'll see on the day, I suppose. But for me, it's quite straightforward, really. It's Brighter Days Ahead, which was one of my ones to watch. Mark?
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you. Brighter days ahead. I mean, you know, you've got Jade DeGlugy in there as well for Willie Mullins, who's also had 3 wins from 3, but obviously 2 under Mullins since switching trainers. But yeah, I think brighter days ahead. I think it's going to be a future mayor's hurdle contender. If you want to do some little anti-post bets for next year,
go down that road.
potentially brighter days ahead for the mayor's hurdle. Maybe Lossiemouth go to the champion hurdle. That's what we would love to see. We'd like to see, and I think 5 from 5. You know, it's just won every race with ease. You know, just oozes confidence as well. Like you say, we're talking about Gordon looking for the longer races, dropping back here. I think definitely one to look out for. Nothing much more to say. You know, you've just said, like, you know, as Jamie would say, brighter days ahead. Move on. You know.
Yeah, I think very much worthy favourite. We can all see why. We all listen to the same things. We all hear the same noises. They're very confident. There's reasons for that. And when a yard of that elk is confident, normally it comes to fruition. I've gone for Golden Ace. More of an each way shout. I think it's going to be a sticky race. I think anything can really turn up in these mares type of races. Second to Dicer Enios at Aintree last year, I believe. Quite a way off, I believe. 10, well, maybe just under 10 lengths, but a 40 to 1 shot wasn't a bad ride round there for Jeremy Scott's horse. Then this year, 2 wins out 2, quite straightforward. Not really beat too much, so there's not too much to go on. But with the 3 in the top of the betting, with the 3 at the top of the betting and they're confident there, I'm looking for more of an each way at 12 to 1. I'm going Golden Ace.
It's good to see Harry Den do well in his first proper season in Cheltenham Festival as well, because he's got Gimme 5 done well at Kempton in the Janos, finishing second, and now he's got the handling of Queen Gamble, and obviously with his assistant with Oliver Sherwood, so they're a very good combination.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well that's the day done then, isn't it?
Day 3 done and dusted.
So we move on to the Triumph then on the 4th day. Just trying to find the Triumph. Does anybody kind of kick us off while I'm looking?
Yeah, I think as I'm looking now, so I'm not going to look too much, but Sergino, how you like to pronounce it, for Nicky Henderson. Just going by his performance in the Cheltenham trials, beating the likes of Burdett Road, but yeah, it was, you know, when the horse was shaking up to go up, win the race, it just went. You know, and others just can't really see much more in the Triumph. That looks, you know, I think it was around 11 to 8, 5 to 4 is what you might get. Some bookies are doing 4 to 5 on. You know, odds on favour for this way. Definitely one. I think Nicky Henderson will get a winner on the opening race of the Triumph. Again, it's not a race that has too many competitive horses in it. I think the next one down is around 13 to 2. So yeah, I mean, I think Sergino for me. Triumph to kick off Friday.
I got to be honest. That was where I was going. You know, obviously he won the trial and beat Burdett Road, which up until that point I think people might be putting their hat on, you know, for the festival. But obviously, you know, Sergino won by about 10 or 11 lengths, so it won quite convincingly that day. Obviously, as you say, Sean Mullins, you know, you can have a can out of Mullins, and there's obviously always an option.
He's got a couple in there.
I'm guessing that Paul will, if he gets a choice, will pick that Cargessi, how you pronounce it. So that could be, you know, a nearest challenger maybe. You know, got some reasonable form in the book, but you know, they've all had a couple of sort of seconds and thirds, so it is a bit difficult. But on paper, Sergino looks to be the one on the upward curve. So you know, personally, I'll stick with that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue. To be fair, I think Burdett Road will get a lot closer this time. But I think after watching the last race, you can understand why the price shortened. The horse is clearly going to thrive there. The ground, I can't see it being too much of an issue. So yeah, I'm not no point dwelling on it too much. I think at the price he's at, is it worth backing on its own? No, really. But is he a worthy favourite? Yeah.
Okay, Jamie.
For me, it would be Sergino. I think I know I've backed him as anti-post Burnett Road, considering he was impressive at Cheltenham, winning on the 18th of November. Won that well, and he beat that and won him by 6.5 lengths. But then he was a bit of a talking horse because he ran on the flat, won on Royal Ascot and 1 mile 2 on Good the Firm on a particular good race that he won at Ascot, and that was the Golden Gate Stakes. He was a handicap, won that very well with Neil Cannon, and then decided to go over hurdles, and you can tell that he's got the ability. He's moved on to James Owen, who is a dual purpose trainer, and I think he's done that well, but he was sort of being of a talking horse because of his his profile. But obviously the hood has sort of helped him, but I think he was just not there on all sorts. And then when all of a sudden Sergino came onto the stage and blew him out of the water, and I think he's got a chance. I think he's got a very good chance, Sergino. I think Burnett Road will improve, but I don't. Would he beat him? I don't think so, considering that race that Sergino beat him. The other horse that it's just taken my eye, that I watched him run, and that was a Paul Nicholls horse, and that was Caldif du Belay, that won yesterday, at Kempton in the Dernos, and beating Gimme 5 in a sort of a steward's inquiry, which was absolutely nonsense. I think he will go to the Triumph. I was at the track, so I didn't really hear what he was saying after the race, because I was at the track and I wasn't watching ITV racing or anything else. So I would imagine Caleb Dubele will go to the Triumph and see if he can put his famous Mark's words spanner in the works and see if he win that. And I thought that was a very good race. I did enjoy that race, that on that Adonis juvenile hurdle with Gimme 5. But I would say Sergino for me.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So that does us for the Triumph then. Let's move on to the Albert Bartlett. Jamie, who do you like in the Albert Bartlett?
Oh my God, Albert Bartlett. No, you just move on. No, I would say Jinko Blue. Why don't we? We go to Jinko Blue. Let's go for, it's a novice hurdle, 2 miles 7. I think Gino has done 2 miles 3 up in trip, might suit, and also I think might do well over hurdles.
Well, Blue. You're right. I mean, you can scroll down the list and there's ones against nearly all of them. So it is an open race. I've got to be honest, I'm going for the Donnelly colours. I'm not going for the favourite. I'm going for Henderson's runner, Shanghai Bob, I believe it's pronounced. He's 3 from 3 anyway, so obviously not done nothing wrong so far. He won the Albert Bartlett novice hurdle in December. Stayed on very well up that hill, which we all know is a must.
Tough. Yep.
But of course you've got Harry Fry's entry in there. He's a number of horses you can throw your hat on. You've got the two tones which we've loved for many a year. Tommy Wrong, who hasn't lost in his last 4. So yeah, difficult one to choose, really, isn't it?
It is.
But on his recent efforts, I'm sort of just surprised that Dancing City's that much. Well, he's not really even that much more fancied. You can't really.
It's wide open.
Yeah, it is wide open. Yeah. Obviously, it'd be interesting to see who rides which one, and who Paul goes for in that race with the first and second favourites there. Well, and third favourite, just about on paper. So it'd be interesting to see where they go. But yeah, I'd hang my hat on the recent effort up that hill. I was impressed by. So I'll go with the Donnelly colours and Shanghai Bob. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, so it's a tough one when you got the favourites 7 to 1. So you just don't know how many he's going to
Good value,
High Class Hero is one that just sort of edges out for me for Willie Mullins. You know, since changing train, he's won 5 on the spin. I think this could be who Paul Townend could go for. It's been very impressive over in Ireland. I say he never ran at Cheltenham, but I say it's one of those that throw your hat into the ring. I would say throw a spanner in the works, but if I threw a spanner, I wouldn't know where it would land. And this one, is generally do not know this one. Reading Tommy Wrong, 15-2, Dancing City at 9s. Just the list goes on. I think Blue that Jamie mentions.
You can just scroll down, can't you, basically,
and the list just goes on and on and on. So this one, where High Class Hero is around 7-1 at the moment, I think you might potentially get down to around 5-1 favourite for this. So I don't think they'll go any lower than that. I think because no one knows who's going to go on this one. But just going by form, going by performances that I've seen from him over in Ireland, High Class Hero at 7-1.
Okay,
for the
fair enough.
Bartlett.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go Mullins if I'm honest, but I am going to go Reed and Tommy Wrong. I think against Mullins bingo, isn't it, with these, because it's the knock-on effect is what I mean. I'm going to look at here because you've got stablemate that he beat, well not stablemate, but Isle Atlantique, who he beat by 6 lengths in his last race. Also Mullins, 6-1 at the moment for the Bingham.
Okay,
So he's keen on that because if you take out Ballyburn and depending on what's going on there, they've obviously got a lot of faith in El Atlantique. Depending on what happens to the others. If that horse then goes and does well in Ballybingham, you can guarantee that Reading Tommy Wrong will shorten because that form will not only be franked but really proved right. So again, I'm going on a chance that Mullins plays it how everyone's assuming. The horses fall where they were, form line goes. Not had a go at Cheltenham yet, Reading Tommy Wrong, so we'll see. Do like a two-tone. I do think the form can be franked if he plays his cards right and the horses in behind, such as El Atlantique, does well. I think he's a good shout. Again, at 7-1, it is a in your hat on 1-0. But those are the sort of races where value is, where you can make a bit. Everyone's going to have an opinion on this sort of race. 100% we're all wrong to someone, but who cares? Reading Tommy Wrong.
As you say, there's just so many, isn't there? And there's
you could be
so
here
many
for days
make a case
making
for
cases, but
absolutely, Okay, all right, we'll move on then. Well, next on my list then, can we come to the Gold Cup, lads?
Galloping, done.
Which is a foregone conclusion. Let's be honest. Is there any other option, really?
Look. Realistically, yes. I mean, if you look at it on paper, it is a very good race. Galloping, Fast and Slow, Shishkin, Jerry Colomb, Herrick, La Press, Brave Man's Game, Correct Rambler, Gentleman's Game, Monkfish, Nassalam, Ahoy Senor, The Real Whacker. We know not all going to run. We know as years gone by, a Gold Cup field usually 8 to 10 horses. Usually, would we say? Not massive fields, but big enough that it makes it interesting. There was a slight chink in the armour at the start of the season when we all thought Galloping may not return the horse we thought when Fast and Slow got ahead. But unfortunately for everyone else, he seems like he just kind of didn't want to play that day as well. I mean, didn't want to play, still comes second. Right, to a very good horse in Fast and Slow. I think Galloping will be too good. I do like Shishkin at 8-1. I think rule that horse out at your own peril. And at 8-1 is a very good value. But I think Galloping will win again, yes.
I mean, let's say you look at it, don't you, as you say. He didn't seem to fancy that day. He didn't jump very well that day at all. But it seemed to put him right, didn't it?
And then
you got Jerry Colomb at like 12-1 as like the full favourite. And then after that disappointment, he absolutely walloped Jerry Colomb by 23 lengths. So, I think he's back. I think he's ready to rock and roll. And for me, it's got to be Galloping, really. But I think, as you say, 8-1's a nice price for Shishkin, who we all know, despite his quirks in his latter part of his career, one for a better word, he's still a bloody good horse.
Look, at the end of the day, we know that this is...
I think you sort of write him off, as you say, at your peril when it's
100%. Any of these can win. We know that because they're all worthy of being in the Gold Cup. It's the pinnacle for a reason. But I think they've got to go a long way to beat Galloping.
Yeah, it's going to take something special.
Personally.
Or another bad day. And he looks like that's worked out the system. So then, Jamie, Gold Cup, who'd you like?
Well, obviously you've got Galifin Deschamps. I think he's going to win it. But me personally, I think with an each way selection, he was my ones to watch through the year. And I think the home presse, I thought he would have ran in the King George, but obviously not. Thought they would just hold him up again for a couple of weeks, and he ran really well, winning at the Winter Festival at Lingfield. Did that well, and then he went to the Ascot Chase. I think there was a lot of people saying it was the wrong distance for him and things. Did well, finishing second behind Pictori, and he was running on well. And like you've got
finished on me.
finished wrong. And there's other horses like you've got your Brave Man's Game, Herwick. I don't know how he managed to win the King George, but I don't think he'll win the
I think that
Cup.
just kind of went well for him.
Yeah, and I think
it's not taking anything away.
No,
but
I think it could be
works,
a prep for him. I think he's in the Grand National, so it'll be from now. You've got your Gentleman's Game that won, and the Charlie Hall. So for me, I would say for 1, 2, 3, 4 in any order. So you have Galifin Deschamps, non-presse. Also, you've got, I would say, Brave Man's Game, and then the fourth one would be Fast or Slow for me. So yeah.
So any other business in?
You've got one of them right.
Yeah.
Being Galopin Deschamps, I think he's going to take all the beating. But one you actually didn't mention, which has actually quite hurt me, Jamie, was Shishkin. Like a lot of people would say.
Pride and joy.
I've had the opportunity to see Shishkin plenty of times, and Galopin Deschamps from his surprise defeats to where he's come on leaps and bounds to really put him in a worthy favourite for this year's Gold Cup, and he will take all of it. It's him against himself, as we said about a number of horses at this year's festival. But we go from Shishkin from when he refused to run at Ascot to he's running the King George. I believe he was going to win the King George if it weren't for his blunder. And I say Hewitt come from nowhere and just won that, and that's a fascinating story.
in itself.
For that horse, but. I say Nico de Boinville. I think if he can get him relaxed at the start and jumps the first few fences fluently, then I think why not? There is a chance that he'll be in the placings. If he places 1, 2, 3, 4, he would have to. It's as you said before about we said about Constitution Hill and State Man. I think Galopin Deschamps, to me, is one of those where he can be 50% and he'll still go and win.
Yeah.
He's just got that about him. He's just a monstrosity to look at. He's just this huge, lovely looking horse. But Shishkin, for me, is one that I've got a real soft spot for. And around 9, 10 to 1 in the each way in a Gold Cup is fantastic pricings for me.
Shishkin is like another Mike Bite, really. It's just like he was going to go towards the
He
Guinness.
seems to have gone that way. I don't think he was in his early career, but he does seem to have gone that way a bit.
The other thing is Mike Bite was heading towards the Guinness tent and decided, no, I'm not going to go to the Guinness tent and win that and beat Whisper by a nose. But by whiskers. But then I think if you like you say, if you take out Shishkin, there's nothing to entertain on that group of horses because he's the quirky horse and that. So
No, I agree. Yeah.
Okay, well that kind of wraps this up. That's the main ones that we always sort of cover. We've tried to cover a few more in the interest of covering a few more. Obviously, any other horses anybody wants to speak about?
I think Jamie's got a plethora of horses.
With the dark horses, I think with Day One, I think with the Boodles Juvenile or the Fred Winter, I think I'll go for the Gimme 5. I'm not really sure about Harry Denham, what he was talking about after the race, if he was going to go for the Triumph or the Fred Winter, depending on the donus that he ran at Kempton, finished second. So for me, I think I'll go. It'd be like a non-runner no bet. Would be Gimme 5 in Day One, and in Day 2 Coral Cup. That would be like for me, Dan Skelton, Nurse Susan. That's my ones to watch on that one. And in Kim Muir, day 3 will be Grozny. That's an interesting one because I know the person who contacts me on WhatsApp, and he's an owner. Been in contact.
They're reasonably confident in a good run.
In a good run.
Right.
But it'd be great. I mean, he's messaged me to say it's great to have a horse
Of course.
for the Kimura and all that. So I think Grozny, and in day 4 on the Martin Pipe conditional. I think a lot of people were talking about Lagadan. Is it Lagadan for Dan Skelton? I think if it goes in the weights and it goes in the field to run, I think it's another Dan Skelton. I think JJ Riley as well for the Martin Park condition.
Had a consistent season.
Yeah.
Done very well.
I mean, I'd say not so much dark horses, but I think Dino Blue's worth a shout. She's gone very well in the other mares, the lesser mares. No disrespect, but that's the way it always seems to be. But as we mentioned before and chatted about, only recently lost to El Fabiolo, which is no slouch in itself, as we know. So, and then the only other one for me was that Iberico Lord that finished very strongly the other day at Newbury, which that's exactly what you need up the hill. So, Candy Hurdle, I think that's going in. So that's another one for me to keep an eye out.
You've got the flip side of it of the ones to look out for and stuff like that. We've mentioned a lot of short price favourites, but they're them for a reason. We're not just going to sit here and start touting out 20 to 1 just to make it interesting, right? This is the World Cup of horse racing.
And I think we're all agreement with about Dino Blue.
Dino Blue, that's what I'm saying. Just talking about Dino Blue and putting it in evens at the moment. And yes, people will moan that it's short, but you want the best to turn up.
Yeah, of course you do. Exactly,
how can you complain that it's too short but want the best there? Do you know what I mean? So we will sit, and unfortunately some of these have been short price favourites we're all in agreement with. Galloping, Constitution, whatever. Put them together.
We don't do this we're not here trying to say, oh well, we're going to find every single outsider and flip everything on its head.
You're not going to go to a World Cup and want San Marino to win.
No
disrespect to him, but you're not. You're not going to sit there and go for all of this and build up to a great event and then not see the best come to the fore and not see the best win. Put them together. That's what we were just talking there, and I just looked there. Lossy Mouth for the mares, Factor File for the Browns, El Fabiolo for the Champion Chase, Galloping for the Gold Cup. Dino Blue for the Mares Chase. All right, on their own, won't make you any money. We all do this, and everyone watches these, and they won't just watch ours, they watch everyone's to get little bits together. Put them 5 together. Yes, it's a risk because they've all got to win.
Yeah, of course,
But if they're good enough, you'll get 15 to 1.
I mean, of course, it's going to be a Willie Mullins festival, but I'm hoping we will see, you like to see Fergal O'Brien do well because obviously he's hit the crossbar a few times, and then you got Harry Denham. I like to see Harry Denham do well because it's his first full year as a trainer. And then also, obviously with horses and situation with the national hopefully we'll try and get it all competitive. With all the flat and all that, might be all these private buyers might buy them, take them to foreign lands like Hong Kong, Japan, and everything. I think now the national hunt needs to have a good look at itself from there.
Yeah, well, as I say, it looks like it could be a bit of a whitewash again.
Good, but you don't know.
I don't like to say it as an Englishman, but you've got to go with what you think's the best, and if that's not for us, then
that's what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, unfortunately. But like I say, let us know. Tell us what you think.
100%.
Do you think we are going to get a bit of a pasting again? I hope not, but we'll see. So that's it then. Obviously, if you're going, good luck. If you're having a bet, good luck. We can't wait to be there.
Next up, Stroud.
Yeah, we're all ready to rock and roll.
Bet responsibility.
Yeah. Travel plans will be made forthwith, and we'll be on our way, lads.
Indeed. Cannot wait.
So that's it, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you at the festival.
Yeah.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Ta-da.
And Stage Star has won the Turners.
Side of Burley moves through the lead,
The Ryanair goes to Envoy.
but it's Galopin de Champs who's galloping his way to Gold Cup glory.